Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about acquiring website properties, how to do it right, and how to do it profitably. That's all we're going to talk about today. Hopefully you enjoy this subject, and I know I'm passionate about this topic. And hopefully, by me telling you my experience and what I did, you can learn about it. And then if in the future you have some money you want to spend on buying a website, you can do it effectively, well, smartly, and all that, all the important things will hopefully fall into place for you. Now, first things first, when you look at a website, you want to look at the website itself. We're on Flippa. It's a website exchange, and there are all sorts of things on this exchange. Anything from, a really, really crappy website that just has spun content or copied content, or, it's just a template that's sold over and over again, or even in some bad cases, the person who's selling the website doesn't even own it. So there's all that. There's the bad, and there's things that are really great. There are $1 million properties being sold on Flippa that are generating all sorts of revenue, and the seller's getting a 30 times multiple, monthly multiple of revenue for that, or even more in many cases. So, there's just all sorts of stuff on Flippa. I wanted to find something that was a little bit lower priced. 5,000 might look like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, when something's earning revenue, people are willing to pay a lot of money for it. So I want something a little bit, lower priced. Oftentimes people say you need to spend about 30,000 to really start getting good deals on websites, as opposed to a lot of times, crappier or scammier websites will sell for less. However, the reason this one's only 5,000 is you'll see it's not really generating all that much revenue. Now, don't panic. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But first, I just want to talk about, why I bought this website, why I thought it was a great idea. First things first, I jump on Flippa and I start looking down the list at all the websites. I create some filters to, look at revenue and all, and age of the website and all that. And I look at topics that will interest me. And a lot of these websites, the topic is just not very interesting to me. It's something that I don't care about. So I look at websites that interest me, making money online. I'm really interested in that. There are a couple others I've seen that I jump on right away, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. This is the first one I've actually bought, though, to be clear. And so hopefully through this video and the next video that I publish, we'll learn together about, mistakes that I made and all that. But I want to be very particular about sharing every single step of the way, hopefully in an interesting manner and a manner that's helpful to you. But so I look at something that catches my eye, topic that I am interested in, and then I, of course, go to the website. That's very important. So this one's earnthatbuck.com. This is the website that I'm purchasing. And first things first, there are some improvements with design to be made and all that. I'm not the biggest design expert or biggest design enthusiast, but there are some clear ones that we can make and test. And I'm going to test it using Google Optimize, because you can use that as a free testing platform to split test changes. Whether you're testing to get more AdSense revenue, you're testing to get more people to register for this website, sign up for an offer, whatever it is, you can test against those metrics using Optimize, and it's really effective. So that's how I'm going to do all the design elements. There are a lot of things that we'll need to do that I can't necessarily test, with Google Optimize, namely SEO testing. We're going to talk about that later. All the things I want to test in the next episode. Today, we might talk about why I think there are big wins with SEO and how that influences how much I purchased this website for. But more importantly, let's just take a look. First things first, I wanted to see what I was buying. I'm buying a forum. That's very important. This isn't just some WordPress blog that someone, threw a couple posts on and called it a day. You'll see that most of the messages and posts in this forum are actually in the, topic of the forum. Sites and apps that reward people and pay them money. And that's what the site's about. There are quite a few in the introduce yourself, and that's one of the quick wins with SEO I'm going to improve. I'm going to try to make it so that this is not indexed in the search engine, and also that this section is hidden when when someone views this forum and they're not a user. Right now, I'm viewing this and I'm not logged in, and so Google also does that, and so they think this site's about introducing yourself, in some ways. So I'm going to fix that, and Google's going to know that what topic we're actually about. So that's going to be a big win. But I'll talk about some of the big wins later. Anyway, a lot of content, a lot of on-topic content. There are a total of 1,958 discussion threads. Now, 600 of those are here, so we're going to remove that. from this count. So 1,300 discussion threads. So those are topics that, for the most part, are about money and earning money online. So like, there's so much good content here that I'm really interested in acquiring. Now, I looked at all the content, or a lot of the content, to make sure that the stuff that's getting the traffic is not copied. It's not, it's not thin content. It's actual legitimate stuff. Now, not every thread on here is going to be like that. So I'm going to do some stuff to improve that later, but that's the important stuff. And then you scroll down and they've got this call to action, and that's pretty good. And I'm going to improve that, of course. And then I'll talk about ways that'll improve, registration rates and everything for these forums. But I just wanted to point out that there's a lot of good content, a lot of value actually on the site when you're on the site. But the more important thing is, how much traffic is this thing actually getting? How do we look at that? What do we do to evaluate a website? I always go to SpyFu first. It's my go-to SEO tool. There'll be a link in the description for you if you want to sign up. It's only $39 a month, which is really cheap for an SEO tool, but they get the job done. I type this in, and I see the amount of SEO clicks that SpyFu says the site's getting. And I can tell you, I got access to Google Analytics, and they're actually getting about 4 times more SEO clicks than this. So, SpyFu says that, these SEO clicks are worth $586. I think it's probably worth that when you count the 4,000. But of course, they're only earning about $154 right now, or last month. On average, it looked like they earned about $180 to $190 a month in revenue after all was said and done. Especially when you look at their revenue from some of their other properties. This is AdSense, and then they have these other website monetization methods they're using. And I think there are a lot better things to use. I think AdSense is a good first step. But here's something I wanted to talk about. When you're looking for big wins, you can kind of cheat, right? So we looked at the traffic, they're getting SEO traffic, and then you look for big wins. So compare these two sites. This is the biggest competitor in the forums about making money online industry. And they're about 4 times bigger than this site in terms of search traffic, organic traffic. They got quite a bit of content. And then look at what's happening here. They've got ads here. They've got these popover sponsored ads here. They've got, login buttons right here. They've got, all these ads. So these are big wins that I'm going to be able to make, just ads all the way down. And I'm sure on each individual page, they're earning all sorts of money on ads there too. So I think there are so many things we can do to get this revenue up. We're not going to make it. This is pretty obnoxious. I'm going to say that. I'm not interested in that. We're going to get a little less obnoxious, but we're going to get very high quality call to actions that people are going to want to click on and make us some money. So we're going to do that. Big wins. I think we can get the revenue up. I think by default, this is going to get me, $190. So if we round that up to $200 a month, let's just say 150 for now. 150 times 10 is 1,500. Add 2 months, we're at $1,500, or sorry, $1,700 out of 5,000. Let's look at a calculator here. And I think it's about 36%. So let's see, divided by 5,000, we're at 34%. So 1,700 divided by 5,000, 34% ROI a year from this website. And that's not the best in terms of a money multiplier. When you're buying a site, a lot of times they say you want 20 months to 30 months of revenue. So if we did 30 months of revenue, that would be 4,500. So maybe I'm paying a little too much for the site, but I think it has great content. And like I said, it's got big wins. So anyway, that's what I looked at when I looked at this site. Hopefully you got a lot out of that in evaluating your website. If you're really interested in me talking about some of the scams on Flippa and how I avoid the scams and how I look at sites that are not scams, go ahead and let me know, and I can make another video on that. And I'm pretty excited to talk about that subject too, because it's something I'm interested in. But the next video in the series that I'm definitely going to do, so subscribe to make sure you don't miss it, is what am I going to do to make this site, just explode? What am I going to do to fix this site? I have so many ideas. for SEO, for monetization, for user engagement and registration. Oh, and I almost forgot. This is really cool too. This thing has 6,300 members, which means in theory, 6,300 emails for me to send emails to these people. So pretty big email list for a $5,000 site. So less than $1 per email. And if I can get them on this subject of making money online and just kind of get them interested in it, start getting that email list engaged and posting on the forums, that's one of those things that's a quick win. So I'm going to do that. But the next episode, I'm going to talk about, how I'm improving SEO, how I'm using that email list, how I'm improving monetization, and how I'm improving user engagement, registration, and interactions on the site. So hopefully that helped and you enjoyed. And make sure you put a thumbs up if you're interested in more content about buying websites, and why you should buy a website, what kind of website you should buy, and all that. So thumbs up, and then leave a comment if you have questions or anything like that. And see you later.